Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Marcus Conti. How are you, man? A little piano music for you. A little piano music every morning. Welcome to the program today. Today is October 19 in the year 2022. And broadcasting live here on YouTube from Northeast Pennsylvania, where it is currently freezing. 33 degrees outside. And everything is a frost. I went out this morning and there was the grass was white. It wasn't snowing, but the grass was white. And so what? Right? So what? We're still alive, man. We're still alive, but there's people that are not so alive and are getting progressively more dead as time goes on. And who are those people dying? It looks like it appears to this reporter and this human being that people who absolutely refuse to take care of themselves and or simply don't know how to take care of themselves are suffering greatly and dying. And whenever that happens, you have always opportunists that will come along and try to sell you something that'll make you well. You can, historically, I guess it's called a snake oil salesman, the guy who, oh, you're fucking suffering, man. You need a cure, man. You need something to fix you, man. And I believe that's where we are right now. I think there's enormous profiteering in big pharma, aka vaccines, right? Vaccines that cure everything. There's now a new study that shows that that's not a new study, but it's a new announcement from Pfizer that they're by 2030, that's about 8 years away, they plan to have a vaccine for cancer. Now, I know it's ridiculous, right? Is cancer something? It's an organic thing that evolves in the body as a result of a deficit somewhere. Not necessarily immune system. It could be cancer evolves everywhere. Cancer loves skin. Cancer loves your colon. Cancer will, be happy in your pancreas and your stomach, up your ass, in your nose, in your mouth. Right, and so the idea that there's going to be some sort of injection that you can take to prevent this thing from happening, in my view, is beyond fucking ridiculous, right? Now, okay, maybe we could find something that could, in fact, boost the human immune system, right? For a while, for a couple of moments, maybe an hour, maybe a day, maybe a month. But at some point, it has a equal but opposite, even more so opposite effect of going the other way. So for example, if you're what's a good example? I don't have a good example, but for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. So if you think allowing yourself to get viscerally ill, right, by being overweight, by eating the wrong stuff, not exercising, always being dehydrated, never sitting in the sun, don't even know what meditation is, don't know how to calm your fucking brain, your mind, your thoughts. You're grotesquely wrong to think that someone somewhere is going to invent a serum, a magic serum that's going to prevent all those ailments from happening. Next, they'll have a vaccine for obesity. Oh, yeah, you're fat? Take this. Well, it's already been tried. Take this pill and you'll lose weight. How many times have we heard that? It's gotta be, the body is, human beings have the ability to heal themselves. If there is a magic trick to health, it's knowing that you and I and everybody else around us that is that qualifies as human has the ability to heal themselves. And there's a you know there's a it's not new. It's not. I mean, they've known it for 2,500, 3,000 years. The Greeks and the Buddhas of 2,500 years ago knew all about this. It starts in the mind. It starts in the agitation of the mind, and that's where disease basically evolves. There's other aspects too. Humans taking themselves out of nature is a big one. That's why you got to go back to nature. But nonetheless, there is now a couple of stories. The big story is a killer bacteria down there in Florida for Hurricane Ian. Now, there's people that say, oh, well, climate change is fake. It's a hoax. Humans are not affecting the globe at all. At all. I don't look. Climate change is it's interesting. Is the climate changing? Yeah, of course it's changing. Everything is changing. Is it changing to make it more unbearable for humans? Yeah. Why? Because humans are making the planet unbearable. So there's evidence to suggest that as the population of humans grows, the planet fights back and tries to decrease the amount of fucking pain that this particular species is causing, right? And I had another point, but I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, that look, it's the idea that the climate is changing is subjective. Is it changing dramatically? Well, a little bit, but that's not the point. Are humans rotting the planet in terms of extincting other beings like trees and larger animals than us? Human beings have almost entirely killed every free animal that is bigger than us out of fear that the bigger animal might harm us. Right? There's no more wild lions and tigers and bears, and very few. The population goes down and down and down. Justification is that we have to, they're overpopulated. That's the funniest one. You ever ask a deer hunter, hey man, why do you shoot deer? He said, well, they're overpopulated and they'll die anyway. No, they won't. They'll die because man has cornered them with their highways and their homes and their streets and their cities and their towns, where the animals, they're losing their territory slowly but surely. Now, if you don't believe that's happening, I don't know what else to say. Open your eyes and look. How many elk and wild deer have run down your city street lately? None. Go back 300 or 400 years in that exact same spot, and it was clearly more of those things going on, more of those animals allowed to live. Look at the ocean. Look how many whales we've killed. Sharks, dolphins are dying. Humans are killing everything. Right? They were killing everything. So the logic, physics, this is not speculation, but physics suggests that when one being gets so much momentum like that, something somewhere along the line will look at that being as an opportunity, and like a bacteria or a virus, right? That's what's happening, right? Or cancer. So down there in Florida, Hurricane Ian showed us something. There's a killer flesh-eating bacteria as a result, direct result of not just the hurricane, but the fact that when the hurricane stormed in, it created sewerage, backed up sewerage everywhere. Sewer, like the fucking, shit and piss. Human waste entering into the water supply, commingling with, still salt water, right? And bacteria and human shit and feces and piss. Creating a bacteria that loves it. They're like, yeah. And that bacteria is deadly to humans. Now, is that rare? Is that isolated? I don't think so. I think it's rising. that sort of attack is what humans should be looking at. Not so much, I mean, a nuclear war where humans kill other humans, that's one thing. But here you have nature responding to these dirty humans that are overpopulated on the planet and have lost touch with it. They don't care. They think that, hey, you know, what, the 700 million barrels of this fucking oil under the ocean, suck it out, man. Suck it out and burn it. So what? It creates a tsunami. Who cares? Who fucking cares, man? You know, it's God said. God said, the religious minded. God said it's for us. Well, I do believe it is. So those are some of the stories we'll talk about. Vinny Martini. Good morning, everybody in the chat. This is my name is Marcus Conte. We are live every morning at 9 a.m. Rain or shine, hurricane or no hurricane, man-eating bacteria or no man-eating bacteria. We're live every morning. Right now, we're on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for having us. And so there you go, man. And everybody else is here. I'm running late, so I'm not going to name everybody, but I see you all here. If you don't know who's here, just look on the far side of the screen, your far right screen right, my screen left. No, my screen right as well. And you'll see who's here. This is a live audience every day. It's not just me rattling. It's me rattling and bouncing it off of you, who's also rattling. So there's my thumbnail today. Killer bacteria. Killer, it's killing you. The flesh-eating bacteria down in Florida. Now, the New York Post did a little bit of a story. They exaggerated it somewhat. But nonetheless, the facts remain that there is a flesh-eating bacteria on the loose down there in Florida. So we'll take a look at that. And I have a website. I do have a website. Every morning at 9 a.m. we're on live on YouTube. If you were ever lost, marcusconti.com. Come on over. And I dropped the link to where we are. Right now we're on YouTube /Marcus Conti. Historically, we've been here and live. When YouTube goes down for their censorship issues, we then shift over to D Live and do the same program. Nothing really changes there. We're also broadcasting on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, and wherever else we are. And every morning the videos are here. These are the unedited, unclipped versions as recorded in my personal studio as we broadcast. And you could join us. You join me over here at marcusconti.com. And the videos are up. They're posted to Rumble at this point. You're watching it. When you click on it, you're watching it as it was posted to Rumble. So thank you for doing that. So let's start here. So, immigration. Let's just talk about it for a brief minute. Look at Randall's Island over there in New York. Now, the Americans are if you're watching abroad right now, America is being flooded with migrants, immigrant people storming the border. Now, I know in Europe you have you have a migration problem as well, coming up from Africa, from Morocco, also coming in from Syria, Afghanistan, or wherever else a migrant might want to storm your coast. In America, they seem to mostly come up through the least secured border, southern border with Mexico. And we have an administration right now, Biden administration likes it and loves it. The previous administration hated it. Trump didn't want it. But now we have migrants flooding the fucking country. And look at this. If they make their way up to New York, look what they get. They get 3 hots in a cot. All right? Here's the cots. They're all lined up like soldiers. One head, your head is right above somebody's feet. So it's head, body, feet, head, body, feet, and the whole fucking row of people, head, bodies, and feet. All right? But you get a cot, a blanket, You get a nice tent to live in. So here's the story. The city unveiled Mayor Eric Adams' controversial tent city on Tuesday. Now, this is happening in New York, but it's probably going to come, other cities around the nation. Detailing how migrants staying there will be given 3 meals a day, fluff and fold laundry service, and an array of entertainment, including TV and video games. This is a place people can come, rest, relax, and kick their feet up after the journey they have been on. Emergency Management Commission Zach Iskol told reporters. Now, it's out on Randall's Island. This is the Manhattan skyline, if you're not familiar with it. Very, very expensive real estate. You go down a little bit. I believe this is the 59th Street Bridge. That's downtown Manhattan. You can see the Freedom Tower and such. You see the 2 bridges as well down there is Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. But on Randall's Island, where they used to have concerts, now they've got tent cities. For the good place to come to, right? America, right? Land of opportunity. Look at this. Hot coffee, 24/7. Fresh water. TV room. Look at this. TV room, couches, and rugs. Kick your feet up and watch some American football. Soft microfiber sheet. Fucking unique wrapped construction pillow. Ooh, look, brand new cots, no rotting, no rust. What else we got here? Oh, a popcorn machine. How wonderful. Look at this. If you're a migrant, right, just storm the border and you get some fucking free popcorn. Oh, look, ketchup. This is the dining hall. It's equipped with a dining hall with ketchup and mustard and hot sauce. Telephones. You need to talk to people, right? Get on the phone, talk to your people, right? So we're treating our migrants well, man. While people are scrounging for jobs and they're losing their careers due to fictitious pandemia, the migrants, or they refuse to work for less than $15 an hour. Fuck you. Migrants will do it. We'll do it. How much? $6 an hour? I'll do it. And if you don't do it, right, you'll lose your 3 hots in a cot. So I don't know. I mean, it is interesting. I've never seen anything like this. If I were in New York, I'd be standing outside trying to check it out, or maybe try to make my way inside and see what it is. But yeah, there you go, man. So the idea of migration and closed borders is fiction in America. All you got to do is jump the Rio Grande in Texas, and they'll give you a free boat ride up to New York. So what else we got? I want to watch this video. Look at this guy. They got a video of this fucking animal pushing a guy in front of a train. Watch this. Watch, motherfucker. I'm going to get you, man. I'm going to push you in front of the fucking train, nigga. Yo, what's up, man? Yo, man. Yo, what's up, man? I'm going to get you, man. Yeah, come on. Take that shit, man. Take that shit. And watch this. Watch. He walks up to him and pushes him in front of the fucking train and runs away. And there he is. If you've seen this man, get him. But that's not the story. This is a bizarre. It strikes me as humanity run amok. There used to be TV shows that showed how ridiculous and stupid humans can be, but this is real. Listen to the headline: Office custodian accused of urinating in women's water bottle, giving her STD. Now, it's not accused of. He admitted that he did it. So let's read the story. Here he is. This is the guy. What's his name? Lucio Catalina Diaz. Mr. Diaz, right? Who is a illegal immigrant, by the way. He got kicked out. He got kicked out, right? Of his country, and now he's here. A custodian at a Houston medical office building was arrested after allegedly urinating in a water bottle belonging to a coworker who later contracted an STD. All right. The victim began bringing in her own store-bought water, but I don't want to read the whole thing, but here he is. They got images of him rubbing his genitals on a hidden camera, going into the office, rubbing his fucking balls and dick inside the woman's water bottle and pissing in it. I felt disgusted, the victim said, who wished to remain anonymous. I raised it to my face, smelt it, and it smelt like urine, her water. And she continued to drink it. There was here he is zipping up his fly after you just pissed in your water. This is fucking crazy shit, man. These crazy, crazy fucking people out there. Right? Why? Why? Is this a sexual fetish? You get to watch the woman drink your piss? Now, there is a fetish, a urine fetish, if you're not familiar with it. People surf urine, porn. I put urine and porn together. Search urine porn, and you'll see that there's some kind of sick fucking people that like to piss on each other and piss in each other's mouths. So maybe this guy was one of those, but it does raise the question that psychopaths like this, right, might just want to piss in your fucking drink. I've always said never piss off a waiter. And I've worked in catering, and I know if you get a waiter angry, they will spit in your food. You treat them like assholes and servants and slaves. They'll piss in your fucking. They won't. I've never seen anybody piss in someone's food, but I've definitely seen other very, very, very objectionable things happen with someone's food as it was approaching the table and then placed in front of some asshole that sat there and ate it. So be careful, man. I guess that's the theme right there. Be careful. So I'm going to get rid of this jack off. I'm going to get rid of her. And let's talk about this. Right now, before we talk about the man-eating, flesh-eating bacteria, let's look at this. Cancer vaccine could be available by 2030. COVID vax makers say. So, COVID vax makers, they're so happy with the vaccine, how much money they made, and how wonderful they think it is. Right? But statistically, it seems to have elevated the number of people. I'm not going to say that. I take that back. But vaccine makers certainly were profitable during the vaccine push. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, for example. All right. Now, so what does the business mind say? Oh, let's make a cancer vaccine. Now, a vaccine is something to prevent, something that invades your body from outside. That's the theory. I'm going to build my immunity so this particular virus can't get any legs in my body. Cancer is a totally different animal. Cancer it evolves in the cell at the cellular level. Some cancers, yes, are from, external pollutants. But look, again, I'm not going to get into the deep science of it. What I will say is this, that if you believe that there's some sort of magic serum that you can swallow to prevent, not get rid of the cancer you already have, but prevent it from actually happening, you're out of your mind. So let's read. A vaccine for cancer may be a reality within the decade, according to the husband and wife duo behind the success of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. Yeah, it's the money, follow the money. Professors, I'm not going to try to say their name, co-founders of the German company BioNTech have been researching new technology for years involving messenger RNA that they are hopeful could treat various types of cancers. Treat or That's not what vaccines do, man. Vaccines don't treat anything, right? Vaccines are designed to prevent. Now, I would argue that your best prevention for any kind of, virus attack or ill health, or your own mental health is you. That's your best prevention. Exercise, eating right, resting, meditating. That's your best defense. You create balance in your body, and your body heals. You have the ability to do that. But because humans won't even make the littlest effort to take care of themselves, not even a little bit, right? They're sick, and they continue to, work themselves into the grave, right? Even though they're sick, and they still show up and sneeze and cough and get everybody else sick around them, and their mental illness is, look at the guy pushing people in front of the trains, right? Or the other guy urinating in people's fucking, water bottles, right? It's mental illness. It's craziness, right? But maybe I bet someday they'll have a vaccine for mental illness. Why not? Why not? It's as ridiculous as a vaccine for cancer. It's as ridiculous as a vaccine for various viruses. It's stupid. Anyway, but I guess that's just my opinion, my uneducated, unscientific opinion. All right. Several trials for they believe a cancer vaccine could be widely available before 2030. Several trials for the vaccine are already underway, which started long before the pandemic and have already shown signs of promise. So mRNA technology being used to vaccinate you from cancer. So how many vaccines are you going to have now? You get two for the COVID, and then 2 more for booster. Then you get the cancer vaccine. You could get a vaccine for mental illness. You could get a vaccine for drug addiction and alcoholism. We have a vaccine now for that. We vaccinate you, and you won't have any of these problems, right? Right. It's ass backwards. This is what's called ass backwards trying to help people, right? And profit while you're doing it. The married couple hopes the proven success of the mRNA vaccines against the coronavirus can be that's purely misleading. Proven success, really, can be effective in treating cancers such as melanoma and bowel cancer. Yeah, they're going up your ass, man. They're going for your bowel. And now you can see this as well, right? You go to the hospital and you got skin cancer, and they say, well, we have a vaccine for that. And you say, no, I'm not interested in preventing it. I already got it. And they say, well, we can't treat you unless you take the vaccine. So they'll start to mandate. I'm 8 years. I'm making an 8-year out prediction. Once they have the vaccine, then they'll mandate it. Right? Even when it stops working, like with the coronavirus one, they'll still be plugging people with it, man. Got to make money, man. You got to get the fucking. Speaking of money, how's the markets doing? Let's see. Now the futures are. We're open. Dow Jones is up 60 right now, and Nasdaq is down 30. I'd call that pretty much a flat open. A little red. S&P down 5. Apple down 34 cents. Amazon down $1.50. Google down 27 cents. Tesla up $1.50. What else? Speaking of the vaccines, Pfizer down 26 cents. Johnson & Johnson down 38 cents. Moderna down 2.5. Man, they got to get that cancer vaccine quick so the equity value goes up. All right, because if there's no cancer and no vaccine for cancer, that shit's going down. Where was I? I forgot. Oh yeah. So there you go, man. They're trying. We have what we have developed over decades for cancer vaccine development has been the tailwind for developing the COVID-19 vaccine, and now the COVID-19 vaccine, in our experience, that's not how you win against disease. Disease adapts to your vulnerability. The more vulnerable you are, the more the disease will get you. If you're constantly keeping yourself in shape ahead of the curve, that is your best bet. There is no magic serum per se that is going to help you do that unless you correct the other things too. Now, there is the phenomena of performance enhancement. I will concede a little bit to that. Evidence being in baseball, for example. When a really good baseball player hits home runs, he hits about 60. The best of them can hit, with the case of Aaron Judge, where he hit 62 balls over the fence, right? Beating the guy before him, Roger Maris, of 61. But before that, back in the 90s, 3 guys hit over 70, or 66, 72, and 76, respectfully. And that was Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds. All were able to outperform even the best of them using what they claim to have been a performance-enhancing medication. So I am open to the idea that, but here's what won't happen. Here's what people think when they see it. They say, "Oh man, Barry Bonds hit 76 home runs in one season, and so could I. Pass the steroid, pass me the needle, right? Pass me the needle, and I'm gonna right." And this guy never even played baseball before. He don't even know what a fucking baseball looks like, right? He has no idea, right? But I'm gonna hit 72 home runs because of the injection. You see how it's a grotesquely disconnect from what's actually happening? The same can be said with biotechnology. If someone is extremely fit, I am open to the idea that there are, some sort of organic matter that can enhance performance, right? That's not necessarily synthetic, but we could be talking about certain tea, or things that enhance. But the idea that you're going to go from 0 to 100 and cure your cancer is absolutely fucking ridiculous. So here's Dr. Fauci backstepping, right? Remember Fauci? Dr. Fauci announced August he would be departing, and he was asked about the school shutdowns. He said, "I had nothing to do with it." Now, Dr. Fauci, right, disgraced Dr. Fauci, is saying, "I had nothing to do with the school shutdowns." Really? You were screaming from the rooftops to mask children. Let's listen to him in his own words. It's ridiculous.
Mistake in so many states and so many localities to see schools closed as long as they were.
I think in some case, I don't want to use the word mistake, John, because if I do, it gets taken out of the context that you're asking me the question on.
Well, did we pay too high a price?
Yeah, I would say that what we should realize and have realized that there will be deleterious collateral consequences.
Deleterious collateral consequences. Deleterious collateral contact. So that's he's playing the Obama game, right? Use a big word that nobody knows what it means. Deleterious, and it makes him sound smart. Collateral. What does deleterious mean? What the fuck? I can't even spell it. Hold on a second. Deleterious. Divorce. Assumed to have deleterious effects on children. What a jerk off. What a fucking jerk off.
When you do something like that, this idea that this virus doesn't afflict children is not so. It does. We've lost close to 1,500 kids.
You, my friend, are a liar. Here he is lying about the children thing.
Doesn't afflict children is not. This idea that this virus doesn't afflict children is not so. It does. We've lost close to 1,500 kids.
Oh, really? Have we really, Dr. Fauci? 330 million people in the country, probably 80 million children, and 1,500 died of COVID. And then upon further investigation, those 15 were all very, very, very fucking sick people. They were sick kids. You liar.
So far.
But much less than the older population, obviously.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But you shouldn't discount that it does afflict children, so it isn't without consequences. If you go back...
It's doubling down on the lie, doubling down on the lie.
Do you regret particularly the last one, the shutdown, the sweeping shutdown that some said made things worse?
No, I don't, Neil. And in fact, I think we need to make sure that your listeners understand I didn't shut down anything. I recommended to the president that we shut the country down.
And the only way to do that is by draconian means of essentially shutting down a country. We know that we can do that if we shut down.
Well, I think one of the things you really need to do, to the extent that you can shut down temporarily.
So he's on TV saying we didn't shut down anything, and now, but there's the record.
The country, I think, is important.
Well, if I knew at the time that shutting down would have such a dramatic effect on controlling the spread, obviously we would have shut down earlier. There are those who say you shut down you destructive things by disrupting the economy.
It makes you a little sick watching this guy, right? A little angry, a little sick. He's just a high profile liar, highly paid liar. Right?
And others say, well, if you save so many infections by shutting down, why didn't you shut down 2 weeks earlier?
But I don't regret saying that the only way we could have really stopped the explosion of infection was by essentially, I want to say shutting down. I mean, essentially having the physical separation and the kinds of
So there he is. He's on record saying it over and over again. I had nothing to do with it. Goodbye, Dr. Fauci. So here's the top story. Flesh-eating bacteria infects Florida communities ravaged by Hurricane Ian. Oh, my God. Look at this. Florida communities devastated by Hurricane Ian are facing a new threat of flesh-eating bacteria weeks after the massive storm swept across the state. Now, some of these numbers are a little inflated. I'll talk about it when I get to it. But the fact is that there are bacterias commingling, mixing in with dirty salt water on the streets of Florida as a result of Hurricane Ian. So if not for humans, there would be no human-eating bacteria growing muscles and eating the flesh. Right? And if there was no disrespectful humans or humans that have sewer pipes with their own shit and piss going into the ocean, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Well, let's read. As of last Friday, the Sunshine State reported 65 infections of Vibrio vulnificus. I'll try that again. Vibrio vulnificus. That's how you say it. While there were only 37 cases reported before that. So 65 now, 37 then. It's not like Ian brought it in. It's that there's a doubling of the amount of deadly flesh-eating bacteria now circulating around in Florida. Confirmed. Lee County, home of the Ian-ravaged community of Fort Myers, accounts for most of the new cases of Vibrio vulnificus, which eats away at the flesh in open wounds. Ooh, it's like a horror movie, right? So Since September 29, these guys are observing an abnormal increase in cases of the bacteria as a result of exposure to floodwaters and standing waters following Hurricane Ian. Since September 29, 26 cases associated with Hurricane Ian have been reported. All 26 cases had wound infections with exposure to Hurricane Ian floodwaters that occurred from the storm's surge entering their homes or during post-storm cleanup. There have been 6 deaths among Lee County residents. So, moral of the story is, don't bail bacteria-ridden water while you have open wounds. Now, I don't know what qualifies as an open wound. It could be a mosquito bite. It could be you scratched yourself or you bumped yourself and you got a cut. Open wound. It doesn't mean a big old wound. It just means any old wound. All 11 people in Sunshine State have died from Vibrio vulnificus infection this year. So it's deadly. There are only 10 deaths and 37 cases the year before. So again, 11 this year, 10 last year. It's not something that is rising, insanely, the death rate, but it is. I'm talking about it to point it out in conjunction with all the other things right now that are going on. That humans think that they're going to vaccine their way out of cancer and every other fucking problem, and that these sorts of attacks, natural born attacks of bacteria, are not a threat. This is I would venture to say that viruses and bacteria are a much bigger threat to human health than maybe nuclear war. Well, maybe not. I take that back. I don't know what the equivalent is. I got to think about it for a while. But the threat of vaccine and bacteria death is not vaccine. Virus. Excuse me. I keep saying vaccine. I'm misspeaking. Virus and bacteria death. Right? The vaccines have a lot of that in there, but we're not going to talk about that. Virus and bacteria death is you're much more likely to die. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, but this is the ravaging, and it is incredibly eye-opening that there is a bacteria down there. Florida health officials warned residents of the dangers of the bacteria in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian on October 3. The disease lives in warm, brackish seawater. Brackish, I believe, is salty. Warm, salty seawater, and thrives on sewerage spills in coastal waters. So, combine brackish, salty water and sewer, and this bacteria grows legs and comes after your wound. Right? We need a collective way out of that, right? What is this? This is me. I'm me. So there you go. So that's all I got today. My name is Marcus Conti. Thank you all for joining me. And again, I apologize for not speed reading the comments, but the comments are there, right? Everybody's here today. Good morning, Weevil Girl's here. Leslie Vonderhad is here. Maggie O, and thank you all. Thank you, everybody. The 42 viewers. I put the statistics up because sometimes the view count that YouTube puts up after the fact doesn't really match how many people are watching. But thank you all, 42 people that are currently watching the live broadcast. Thank you all, people that are watching the recorded version. I hope these programs are thought provoking. I hope that when you my greatest hope when I do these videos is that people take charge of their own lives. People take charge of their own health. I believe that to the extent, to the greatest extent I can. I believe I do that in my own life. Right? I try to practice what I preach. Meditation, eating well, resting, drinking water, not hanging out with toxic people too, in toxic environments, right? Because that sort of shitty behavior is also very contagious, right? So thank you everybody for joining me. My name is Marcus Conti. Peace out.